menace we saw on Sunday is still very much fresh in our minds, and everyone has been on this particular matter. To look at the situation in Jos this morning, we go to Abuja, where we've been joined by Honorable Bitrus Kaze, his member of House of Representatives representing Jos South and Jos East Federal Constituency. Well, good morning, Honorable Kaze. First, our condolences.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. Thank you very much for keeping in touch this morning.
What exactly is the situation in Jos now?
It is tensed. It is uneasy calm. It is a lot of fear, a lot of devastation. People are broken down. People have totally lost faith in government, especially the federal government. People feel dejected. People feel betrayed. And people feel government has failed them.
Well, Honorable, from the accounts that we have heard, we heard that, you know, the senator and some other members and the entire community had gone to bury about 50 people who were killed in a church when the fresh attacks occurred. Have we been told what caused the earlier deaths of the 50 people who were found dead in the church?
Well, what happens is that there is a village occupied by mercenaries, people who are basically Fulanis, who have trained militants and mercenaries, some of them from Niger, some from Chad, who have been there for a very long time, much more than 2 years. The federal government is aware, the state government have made repeated reports, and from time to time, these people set out to go to villages. First, they started attacking communities, they started wiping out families, and it has reached a stage where they are wiping out communities. As I speak to you, over 20 communities have been vacated as it is now. There was no reason whatsoever for the attack except that it is an attack sponsored and carried out by mercenaries, Fulani mercenaries, we believe, to our communities for no just cause.
Well, this is the first time we're getting almost close to the issue. Specifically, even the headlines today in some of the papers is actually corroborating what you just said, that some of these people are from Chad and Niger Republic. Has this been formally reported before to the police, or is it just some kind of news from the residents in Jos?
You see, we have lived with other Nigerians for quite a very long time. Jos is a miniature Nigeria. Plateau State accepts Nigerians and foreigners alike to live with them. I mean, that is a constitutional right that belongs to every citizen, if not a universal right. Now, because there are Fulani settlements among us, some, because of the crisis, have had to leave. Some are still there with us. And some that are there with us are harboring those mercenaries within and outside of Nigeria. And of course, like I said, I mean, it doesn't take the state government to say it. It doesn't take the local government to say it. It doesn't take the community to say it. The Nigeria security system in the police, in the army, in the air force, have their own internal intelligence mechanism. They know it. And that is why they have repeatedly promised that they will look into this matter, wipe out the community, wipe out as in wiping out all the arms and ammunition that these men bear. I tell you, they possess a more fiercer, a more stronger, and a more dangerous firepower than even our own forces. And that is why when they first struck, even the military and the police that were on ground took to their heels. And indeed, some military and policemen fell casualty to this man's attack. So, of course, certainly, government, especially at the federal level, I say the federal level because no state government controls any firepower that we know in this country. So the federal government is squarely responsible for this.
The question will be, why is Plateau the target of this ethnic cleansing as has been used in some quarters? Why?
I appreciate your question. And I want to tell you that that question has a lot of historical implications. First, our forefathers, our forebearers, our parents and grandparents fought repeatedly jihadic wars. And they never fell to the jihadic wars. Probably that is what explains why the Plateau communities are largely non-Islamic communities. And no less a person than the late Sadana of Sokoto himself testified in several of his write-up and his statements that among the kingdoms that did not fall to the jihad is the Borno Empire and the Plateau people. And now, that jihadic wars have had a modern interpretation. And Plateau State is strategically placed in the middle of this country. It is at the center of the largely Christian South and the largely Muslim North. And Plateau State is strategic also for its climate, which attracts people across the globe, and therefore the economic benefits that derive therefrom. So these people are interested not only in taking over Plateau, they believe very strongly that if Plateau falls, Middle Belt falls, and if Middle Belt falls, Nigeria falls, and if Nigeria falls, an Islamic kingdom rise. Take it or not, they have said that repeatedly, that what they want to set up in this country is a Sharia system. Believe them or don't, we are facing it on the Plateau day in, day out.
So you are insinuating, therefore, that this could actually be religious. Let's also bear in mind that Christians and Muslims have lived in peace in Plateau for a very long time before the new uprisings that we're beginning to see in that particular state.
Well, the truth of the matter is that religion is a very key player in this matter. I hate to hear people say that religion should be taken out of this matter. Well, from all indications and from all we have seen, and indeed, this has even infiltrated in the conduct and the way our armed forces, the police and security officials have conducted themselves. Muslim officials tend to be biased and tend to shy away from prosecuting those who have been caught that are on the side of Muslims. And I want to tell you, and I'm being honest about this, yes, people have lived in Plateau for long, presumably in peace. I just told you that our parents fought jihadic wars, and that is on record. So the peace you are talking about, it's largely the peace because our people have been tolerant, our people accept everybody. In fact, we have been treated as if we are foreigners in our own fatherland, in our own country, in our own home state. Time has come that our people can no longer take these killings. People have been maimed, people have been killed, people have been slaughtered like goats, and if we cannot fight back because we don't have any weapon to fight back, at least we can talk.
Well, the way it is now, it leaves everyone a little bit confused here because casualties has always been on both sides. And you still insist that it is mainly religious.
Well, you know of the targets that have been on the other side. I know in Jos that only churches have been bombed. I know in Jos that Christians in peaceful worship and in peaceful assembly have been attacked for no just cause. You know, and you can tell the world if you do know, where Muslims were worshiping in Jos and for no just cause they were attacked. You know, the crisis, communal crisis when it occurs, that one, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, even passers-by, fall victims to it. But I am not aware of any Christian terrorist group that has said it will attack mosque, and it has gone to attack mosques, and it has claimed responsibility for attacking those same mosques. Jos was bombed on Christmas Eve 2010. Jos, since then, Jos has been repeatedly bombed, and Boko Haram have repeatedly claimed responsibility, and they have continued to attack churches. You want us to pretend that it is not religious. The reality of the feelings, the reality of the effect of those killing on ground is that if you are a Christian, you are a target, no question about it.
Well, the way it is, and we always see the task force there doing their patrol work, and even the government, you say, is helpless, and you put the blame on the side of the federal government. You are also of the ruling party from your own state. What exactly is the federal government's blame in all of this?
Sorry, I didn't get that last part again. Please come again.
If you say the blame rests solely in the hands of the federal government, what do you say that they should be doing at this point in time to exonerate them if truly they are to blame?
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that question. First, let me ask you. People were killed in Dogonahawa, which is in my constituency. Over 500 people were killed overnight. A lot of people were arrested. They were shown on telly. Where are they today? You will recall the Okene police, where 26 fully armed men were caught in an Okene legislative bus. They were caught with military uniforms, with police ID cards, and they claimed they are vigilantes from Okene with military rifles. Where are they today? Also, every military men were arrested at the point of criminality, where bank documents and military ID cards and berets and uniforms were picked from the scene of criminality. Where are they today? In effect, what I'm saying is that many people who have been arrested in Jos have been taken to Abuja and freed. You are aware that a service chief in the government of President Goodluck Jonathan in this country was indicted for killing thousands in Jos. Goodluck Jonathan found him worthy to be rewarded and promoted as a service chief. Do you expect a service chief who has participated in the killing to prosecute his own tribesmen, his fellow religious men, for taking part in killing? You answer that question.
Well, these are some of the issues that have just come up and, well, they won't be swept under the carpet. But again, the Senate President was prone to, he was very fast on that. He was in Jos, and, well, his comments, what's your thought on those comments from the Senate President?
You say the Senate President did what?
Well, his comments when he visited Jos on these killings.
Yeah.
What do you think about his comments?
Yeah, what did he say? Sorry.
Well, he says, well, perhaps this particular killing, the death of these two lawmakers and others, would actually cause everyone to make this be the last that will be seen in Jos.
Well, I hold the Senate President in very high esteem. I respect him. As far as I'm concerned, as a member of the PDP,
perhaps maybe you just hold on for a moment. Let us play that particular. Let us play that particular video for you again, so that you can actually know what exactly he said.
The essence really of this visit is to come as quickly as possible and urge you and the people of Plateau State to continue to preach peace to the people. It is painful. This is one death that is totally avoidable, and there was no need for it to occur at all. It's one death too much. But if the prize to bring peace to Plateau, and by extension to bring peace to Nigeria is the death of distinguished Senator Danton and Honorable Fulani. Then we hope that their deaths will achieve that end. For the people of Plateau State,
have just been pondering what one would say to people on situations like this. The general feeling is to feel, oh, well, now the big ones are touched. We have been concerned about the happenings on the plateau for quite some time. Plateau has been under siege, Your Excellency, for a very long time, and we've been crying out. There are some people, some marauders from outside this country, conniving with others within the country that have occupied part of Plateau State. And they have been attacking villages. For the last 2 years, I've cried out about these occupation forces that have come to occupy some parts of Plateau State.
Well, I'm quite sure we still have Representative Bitrus Kaze representing Jos East, Jos South constituency there. You heard that. So what's your comment on that? Everyone seemed to be on that same page, saying that those who come to attack people in Jos, Plateau State, are not Nigerians. Have you been thinking how they got into your state?
Okay. Yeah, first I want to say that I was there yesterday when the Senate President made those comments. I was among those who received the Senate President together in the governor's house in Jos. So definitely I heard those comments. I do not find anything particularly offensive with the comments that the Senate President made. So I don't see anything condemnable there. However, of all the things that the Senate President said, there is nothing new. There is nothing particularly that shows that the federal government, not just the National Assembly, that the federal government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is willing to take the bull by the horn to face the issues, the security challenges that we are faced with in Jos. And you ask the question, how did they get there? I should ask the security men. That question should be directed to the security men. From the Nigeria immigration in the borders to the police checkpoints all over, how did they get into Jos? How were they not traced? How were they not found out? How were they not picked out? How did they reach Jos with such heavy weapons to unleash violence and terror against our people?
Well, the next question we would ask is, you are a member of the National Assembly, the House of Representatives specifically. Do you think that the National Assembly has any role to play here? Do you think that the National Assembly has any role to play here?
Oh, certainly, yes. In my view, the National Assembly has a specific role to play. That being the case, I believe that if the National Assembly has followed up on the security of this country and conducted, say, a public hearing that goes deep into the matter unbiasedly, not like what we saw during the 6th Assembly, where Architect Issa of the House of Reps was sent to Jos, who churned out a very biased report. Of course, you know, I challenged that report, and since I challenged that report, it has remained in the cupboard of the House of Reps till date. It was never considered because it was full of bias, it was full of unreality, and it was full of injustice. And of course, it had to be taken to the dustbin. My experience in the last 5 years of being a member in the National Assembly is that some members and even some principal of the House, some principal officers of the House of the National Assembly have taken sides with one side or the other of these matters in Jos, and that has not helped. A National Assembly that is truly inquisitive, a National Assembly that truly carries out its oversight should be able to find out why, for example, the military forces have been in Jos for over 3 years now, and the federal government has spent not a dime on it. The National Assembly should be able to say, of all the monies we appropriate, why is not a dime going to security flashpoints like Jos? A National Assembly who truly conducts an investigation and hear from the people, being honest and sincere, will be able to effect necessary changes. I expect the National Assembly to have reason to say, in a country where religious violence has become so prominent, you cannot allow anybody with such dented record as having been said to participate in the killing of thousands to assume the position of a security chief in this country. But sometimes, unfortunately, we just look at things and believe they are not happening.
Do you think, I mean, earlier on while you were analyzing, telling us a brief history of the attacks, you also mentioned that, you know, you are linking the attacks on Sunday, on most Sundays, with this particular attack. Do you think that there's a connection between the attacks claimed by Boko Haram and the attacks by suspected headsmen?
Well, you, for the purpose of your work, or for the purpose of your professionalism, might differentiate between Boko Haram and the suspected Fulani attacks on the Plateau. For me, they are one and the same thing because they complement one another. Both of them are interested in dislodging the current democratic system and replacing same with a Sharia system. Both of them profess the same religion. Both of them hate a pathological hatred, have pathological hatred for Plateau people. I mean, they are the same to me. I mean, they just Sundays have become their favorite days because that is when religious activities of many on the Plateau, most of us are Christians, and because majority are Christians, most religious activities occur on Sundays. And terrorists love crowds because what they love is that they don't fear to die, but what they love is to die along with many, many, many people. And so they use Sundays because they know we gather in churches, they know we gather to serve God, they know we gather for our religious activities, and so they can pick innocent women, children, worshippers who have gathered to worship and send them to their early graves.
When you talk about worshippers being picked, some have alluded to the fact that it is only the people of Berom that are targeted. Why is it so, if true? People of Berom that are targeted. Why is it so, if true?
Now that's a very important question for me. First, as I speak to you, I'm not a Biro man. I'm an Afizeri person, and I'm a native of Jos East local government. Now, we have been deceived that it is only the Biroms that are being fought. People killed in Bassa, are they Biroms too? What about people, as I speak to you, my village head, I come from a village called Durbi in Shere West, Jos East local government area. Our village head was attacked by Fulanis some 2-3 years ago just because he had cows. They came in the night and killed him. I'm not Birom. What about those that were killed in Mangu? They are not Biroms. In any case, why would the Biroms be selected for ethnic cleansing? What is their crime? What is their fault? What have they committed against the laws of this country that they will be singled out for extermination? I mean, if it is the Biroms that are being targeted, I guess I know why. The Biroms are one of the largest communities, one of the largest tribes on the Plateau. They wield a lot of economic and political influence because of their large populations. They are found in over 4 local government areas. Indeed, some Biroms are found even in Kaduna State. And so if the Biroms is being targeted, for me, it is just that you are targeting the head. If the head falls, the body will definitely fall along. And that is just it.
Well, if we still agree that, well, it is religious in color, what are the religious leaders doing in this case? The Muslims, the Christians, and even the traditionalists in Plateau.
Well, I cannot speak for any religious leaders, but as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, I know for the Christian leaders, they are utterly helpless. And by the way, I can say so because I am a son of a pastor. I know how the religious leaders are so concerned. I know how they are so worried. I know how they are so determined to end this religious matter. But the thing is, it takes two to tango. If the religion is being deployed to cause this mayhem, to cause this attack, to cause this criminality, it takes both religious leaders to come to the table and ask their followers to stop. On the Christian side, I believe that is very easy. But on the side of the Muslims, first, Boko Haram does not respect their own religious leaders. Secondly, even the religious leaders themselves, there was a time a religious leader said in Jos that unless Plateau people allow a Muslim to become the deputy governor of Plateau State will not know peace. You go and ask the religious leaders, is that the reason why they are fighting Christians on the Plateau?
Well, you just said that even Boko Haram would not respect the Muslim leaders. It means that we have terrorists in our midst. It means that at the end of the day, it's purely political and not religious. If the Boko Haram people will not even respect the Muslim leaders. But again, there's a group called NIREC in Nigeria, Nigeria Interreligious Council, both Muslims and Christians. Haven't they been meeting or haven't they met in Jos to see an end to this particular crisis?
Well, in the first place, let me make reference to your first comment. I have said, and I dare say again, that not all Nigerian Muslims are Boko Haram, but all Boko Haram are Nigerian Muslims. And I know for a fact that all Nigerian Muslims, Boko Haram and not Boko Haram, have one single Nigerian Muslim leader in the person of the Sultan of Sokoto. He should take up the challenge to face Boko Haram wherever they are, because they are Muslims and they are under him. And I am not satisfied with the level of commitment of not just the Sultan, but the Muslim leaders of this country, because I think, and some of them have said, they know these people, they know where they are not ghosts. I mean, they are human beings. If Boko Haram would not listen to Nigerian Muslim leaders, as I have said, Nigerian Muslim leaders are in the Nigerian army, are in the Air Force, are in the police. If they truly love this country and are determined to wipe this country of terrorism, they know what to do. Now, coming to your question of NIREC, I mean, all the meetings of this world, all the negotiations of this world, all the dialogues of this world have been held in Jos. I have said, the only body that we have not seen in Jos for dialogue is the United Nations, and that is the one we are waiting for, because the federal government has failed us woefully.
Mr. Kaze, I think it's also important to stress here that a host of Muslims, and all well-meaning Muslims, have said that terrorists are not Muslims. If Boko Haram refuses to listen to, say, the pleas of the Sultan and a host of other people, isn't that just because they are not Muslims?
Well, I guess you are not speaking for Boko Haram, because what you are saying is different from what I have heard from Boko Haram. I'll give you an example. Virtually every Muslim in Nigeria, whether they say it or not, want a Sharianized Nigeria. They want an Islamic Republic of Nigeria. And the recent activities of even the CBN governor shows that very clearly. I mean, there's no average Muslim in this country that will tell you that his dream is not to have an Islamic Republic of Nigeria. And that is exactly what Boko Haram have said they want to establish, as far as I am concerned.
There. And I think we have to be very careful of what we say. You just make a categorical statement saying that all the Muslims in Nigeria would want a Sharia state.
I know it is not all.
Well, I think we should be very careful here not to make some categorical statement saying that all Muslims in Nigeria would want a Sharia state or a Muslim-controlled state. That's what we're trying to put straight there.
Well, I have made my statement. Find me any Muslim that doesn't want that.
Well, I'm sure that there are many Muslims who will come out and say that that is not what they want. I mean, Mr. Kaze, a host of people will say that they understand how the people of Plateau feel at this particular point. But you have also said that religion has been deployed as a tool. It seems as if as a tool to cover up many other wants of this particular people. And in the same breath, you have also said that these are Nigerians, these are Chadians also coming into the country. But at the same time, you seem to be saying that all Boko Harams are Nigerians. How do we reconcile these statements?
Well, I have not heard of any Boko Haram outside of the country. I know that Boko Haram, they may have people they deploy from Niger. They may have people that they deploy from Chad. They may have people that they deploy from other countries. I know for fact that some of them go for training in Somalia, in Malaysia, and in some countries that are not within the shores of this country. Yes, that is a fact. But the thing is that Boko Haram, the expression itself, Boko and Haram, are expressions that are localized, that are is a Nigerian expression. Boko is not as Western education, and Haram is forbidden. So I mean, it is not in doubt that Boko Haram are Muslims. There's no question about it.
No,
I'm sorry, when I said all Muslims would want a Sharia Nigeria, I know especially Southern Muslims may not accept that, but I have not had any Muslim who will come out categorically and say, no, we want a federal republic of Nigeria, a democratic republic of Nigeria. We are against Boko Haram, and let them, and we are going to participate in facing them out. I have not seen that genuine commitment. I'm sorry to say that.